it was amazing, and that family member were aware that we were doing our show, but due to some stuff and their work commitments, they've not been able to tune in. So that prompt from their work colleague telling them to watch Evening Talks, yeah.
So was it one of our segments?
It was one of our segments.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
It was last week's show.
Oh wow!
Someone had sent her last week's show this week, basically.
Oh wow!
Do you know what I mean? And shared it. So, and that was via the Instagram live of Just Cool Radio.
Oh, wow.
Do you know what I mean? So, in no shape or form can we underestimate where this stuff is going, because that family member works in Essex.
Okay.
So I'm not sure, but anyway, it's people in Essex that sent it in. You know what I mean? But yeah. So yeah, I believe we're back on our social media handles now.
Yes.
So
we're sorry about the technical difficulties. As you know, this is live, isn't it?
It's live. Yeah,
it's real live. It's technology.
We gotta get on with it. Cool, sweet. So back to what I was saying, why I got into the industry of insurance. So I was 24 years old, and I experienced some serious heart problems, and it's like a mild heart attack, you know what I mean, what I experienced, with a very gradual recovery. I use the word gradual because if I said slow, in some ways I'd say it wasn't slow, but then in other ways it was slow. So I just say gradual, So it was a gradual recovery. I was 24. I was working in the city, in the corporate world. I was full time. I didn't have a business or anything. I wasn't registered self-employed, like outside of my full-time job. And it happened. It was a shock. You know what I mean? It was a shock when it happened. So I remember it. It was the 1st of May. And yeah, I can recall the whole thing. Anyway, long story short, as I said, it took a while to get better, I was on bed rest on and off for a few months, because it took long to breathe normally again. You see, like how we have been on our show, Marie, like this, and I've just been able to talk fine, not be out of breath and stuff like that. Back then...
So you needed time for your body to heal.
Definitely.
Which means that you had to go through a stage where you had to rest. You had to slow down your pace. Or a lot of things that you was doing, you had to just be still.
I had to be still. And that's what was recommended, to be still at that moment in time. So the recovery process, it made me think. And the reality of it was this. When my sick pay ran out from my company that I was working for at the time, I was on SSP. Yeah. So let me just quickly.
So do you want to?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do. Because for some people might be thinking, what's he on about SSP?
Yes. Just
let me
explain
read.
a bit more.
Yeah, I want to
that
read
is.
what SSP is.
Yes.
Yeah? So if you just give me a second. Right, what a big tune, Anton. What a big tune. Alright, DJ, too bad, serious. Alright, cool. If you bear with me, I'm just getting the definition up because I thought, sometimes you take it for granted, yeah, and you think people may just know off head what I'm talking about, yeah, that's right. So we're talking about statutory sick pay. Yeah. So when I said I was on SSP, that is what I was on. Let me read it. It says, if you need to work out the SSP daily rate, this would be calculated by taking the weekly rate, dividing by 7, and multiplying by the number of qualifying days the employee had. As an employer, you can increase the SSP rate yourself if you offer a sick pay scheme. Hang on, let me scroll down. Let me just type it. What I wanted to really find out was this question: what is the basic SSP rate? That's what I really wanted to find out. Yeah, it says you can get £109.40 per week statutory sick pay, SSP, if you're too ill to work. Now, we're in the great year of 2023. When I was ill, it was £94 a week, so it was £15 less. Yeah.
So how much is it now?
£109.40. Yeah. So, that's what you get per week.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
So, when your sick pay runs out, when my sick pay ran out, because I'm just referring the situation to what I was going through at the time. When my sick pay ran out, I was on £94 per week for a few months.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we're going by what I was earning, yeah, what my take home was at the time in that job I was in, the SSP was less than 25% of what I was earning. Do you know what I mean? So let's say, for example, okay, I had bills to pay, which I did have bills to pay. While I was in need of recovery, I was only getting £94 per week.
That's I was just saying that. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, so you're getting that a week. So in my head, I'm thinking about, so okay, that has to include like food, bills, even though it's weekly, but okay, you might need to do electric, gas.
Yeah.
It's not stretching.
No, it's not stretching. It's not stretching. So what I'm trying to do here is paint a picture. Everything was going fine. I was fit, healthy, cycling to work, young man, Justjordanpoetree, performing here, there, you know, all the usual stuff. I was up and down. I was exercising, as I said, like, yeah, I was living my life. Like, I was 24, like, I was in my prime, like, do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm not expecting to be struck with an illness, you know what I mean? And not a serious illness, like to have heart problems that is gonna, you know, result in me having to be on bed rest or else. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't expecting that, but then that's happened. Now, as I said, my sick pay with the company I was with, that ran out. When that ran out, then I was then on the SSP, the statutory sick pay. Yeah. And as I said, I was on £94 per week at the time. Yeah. But the truth is, my bills didn't stop because my usual income had stopped.
No, they still kept on flowing.
Oh, yes, they did. I had a vehicle, you know, what am I going to do? Phone the car insurance, be like, yeah, guys, I'm too sick to drive right now. So
and
can
be
you
like,
just,
okay, don't
can
worry,
you just freeze?
you know,
can you just freeze?
We'll put it on pause until you go back to
freeze the
work.
car insurance?
No, they don't do that.
They're not freezing that.
Yeah.
They're not freezing that yet. I was like, whoop, whoop. Like, this
they
is being
might,
deducted.
if you're lucky, say, we'll give you a holiday pay, which is maybe for a month. But after that month, you've got to resume back to your normal payments.
You got to get right back to it. And a lot of people wouldn't even phone their car insurance to ask them these kind of questions if they're in that position to say, hey, I'm not driving because I'm too unwell to drive. Do you know what I mean? So
I think in a year, if you do have like a car on finance, I think you're entitled to maybe 1 or 2 holiday where, free, where that they will say, okay, you know, whatever your situation is, that this month, okay, you don't need to pay this month, but resume it from next month. But it's not every month you're getting that.
Well, do you know what? I didn't even, you know, when you're sick, all you're thinking about is surviving.
Recovering.
Yeah? You're recovering.
Better.
Yeah. Like, I wasn't thinking about the bills so much at the time because I was just thinking about my life. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. But thankfully, because I had a little bit of money saved at the time, the SSP thing came in handy, you know. But I didn't know that at that time, if I had an income protection plan, that my income would have been protected. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
and we did highlight this last week.
We highlighted this last week. So upon, you know, experiencing it all myself, you know, having an illness, you know, and being unable to work, I didn't realize what insurances were available to help me. And long story short, one of my family members, they moved over into the industry of insurance, and they went in there to educate our community, you know, and let them know about these products that are out there that can help them. Because what we were seeing was that folk were being injured or ill and unable to work and had no clue about income protection. Folk were getting diagnosed with, you know, critical illnesses and had no clue about critical illness cover. Some folk were passing away and had no life insurance in place, you know, and even being educated on life insurance correctly, you know what I mean, by someone who's trained, you know, and regulated by the FCA. So it were of interest to me to learn about how I could save someone else and help them not be in the position that I was in. Because truth be told, when my savings started to, you know, go down, I was like, okay, and to be honest, at the time, because it was all like a mystery, I didn't know how long I was going to be ill for. That's the other thing. I didn't know how long I was going to be ill for.
It wasn't like a cold for like a 2 weeks
no.
and then you go
It
back
wasn't
to
1 + 1 = 2 to know, okay, cool. Yeah, next week, Thursday. Yeah, it's going to be all right by Thursday. I didn't know it weren't no Thursday to say I'll be okay by then. Do you know what I mean? It was gradual. Yeah, like I said before. So I still have my position and my role to play, you know, within my household, you know, within my family and stuff. And I was in the middle of a few financial commitments, you know. So once that happened now, I was like, you know what I mean? And then when some people were like, oh, Jordan, let me know if you need anything and stuff like that, I wasn't really like telling them I need anything, if that makes sense. I think my mindset was being ill is just a phase, so I'll be better soon.
You'll be better very soon.
Yeah, so I wasn't really singing the "Woe Is Me" song, although I could have, because I was mash up. You know what I mean? I was mash up. You know what I mean? So it was a very vulnerable time in a lot of aspects. Psychologically, you're vulnerable. You know,
and that can cause you to become very worried, because when you've got to a stage where you're working, you're fit, you're vibrant, you're riding here, you're jogging whatsoever, you're going to work, and then all of a sudden this happens and you can't move. You've got no choice.
Looking at the ceiling.
Yeah,
that's the reality.
just even probably moving from one room in your house to another could be a very
I had to think about it.
Exhausting experience.
I had to think about it because I'd be out of breath. Like, I'd be out of breath to get up, go to the bathroom, have a shower. All you can do is go and lay back down now. Do you know what I mean?
Because after that, you're exhausted.
You're tired. You're too tired. You're too tired.
Yeah.
Go downstairs to the kitchen, make something to eat. Imagine I open my cupboard, and then, like, I don't know, a cup or something might fall out. Usually, Marie,
you'd be quick.
My reflexes, I would catch that. I would have caught it. The cups just dropping, like plates dropping, like I'm like, but my reaction is even slow because it's not my normal reflex. Do you know what I mean? My reaction's slow, but I had to tell myself this is just a phase. Do you know what I mean? So living through the experience of it then made me really be like, no, I need to educate our community, because at that time, like when I was going through it, I still was unaware that there were these products because no one told me. No one told me. Like, if someone,
even as you're saying this now, so it's there's many people that could be listening right now, you know, in our community or even globally, that probably didn't realize certain things can be put in place.
So yeah. Things can be put in place, and this is why we're here to encourage you. And where we can educate, you know, and let you know what's out there, so that you can explore for yourself and start putting some things in place. Yeah. So, once I, you know, recovered, I then went into the industry of insurance, and I was like, yep, I've got this responsibility to let people know that you need to think big anyway. You know what I mean? You need to think big anyway, and think about today and tomorrow. Do you know what I mean?
And if you've got children,
oh glory,
think about your children as well.
Oh glory, yeah. If you've got children, and to be honest, I'm not trying to, you know, switch from talking about, you know, the profession and then say, oh glory, like that. But the truth is, I have to. Do you know why? Because there were a lot of people who had children, educated through and through about the products that can help them in the event of something unlikely or unexpected happening, and they would not put anything in place whilst having no savings, to save the day if anything happened to them, but still doing the most on social media and buying things that are way, way, way out of their means, way out of their jurisdiction, like way, way, way out kind of thing. And they were doing that stuff constantly for the instant gratification. And, you know, you kind of explain, you know, what would be done. So you kind of explain what would happen, I mean, if, you know, something unexpected happened, and they are aware, but they're telling you this wouldn't happen.
And I think that's how we are in like today's society and culture.
Yeah,
we don't think about the unexpected.
Oh no.
You know, like when I was growing up, because like my family, we've got family that lives in the Caribbean in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So my mum always used to say to us as her children, always make sure, for example, your passport is valid. Because, for example, if my mum or my dad couldn't travel, then they would send one of us to represent the family.
That's right.
So it's like, that may not happen right now, but it was always something that we were told to always be prepared for.
That's right.
So it's like, even though you think like, no, I'm fit, you know, I'm going doctors, I'm doing this, I'm eating well, no, that won't happen to me. Look, it's better to have it than not to have it. Better safe than sorry, as they would say.
Yeah, better to be safe than sorry. And do you know what, Marie? It's funny. Me and, you know, my family member who was working in the industry of insurance at the time, we got very frustrated with our own family. Like, this isn't my black people cousin. Like, we've got the same surname. Yeah, like this is my real cousin. Yeah, my real cousin, as in our dads are brothers. Yeah, we got the same surname. Do you know what I mean? So we were. I'm telling you, red as our tops. Really, you know what I mean? Like, it's my blood cousin, and we got really frustrated when we would talk to people in our community who knew that they were in no position to save themselves if the unexpected happened. Yeah, but they were doing the most to go and, you know, appear like things are all in place. And we used to think, but you got children though. Do you know what I mean? So and you know what, I was in the industry for a little while, not very long, approximately 2 years. And it was like no other experience, I'd say, you know, working in the field of insurance, because we saw a lot of unexpected things happen, and it was a blessing when the very, you know, policies that we had sat down and, you know, tailored for our clients were in place, live policy, had saved the day. Had saved the day, Marie. When I say saved the day, look, last week we mentioned a little bit about the income protection. Yeah, we mentioned the critical illness cover, the life insurance. We mentioned the funeral plan, and then we also mentioned about thinking big. Yeah. Now, I'm just gonna reiterate on this, using myself as a case study. Yeah. So let's say, for example, Josh Jordan had an income protection. Yeah, that's that my income were protected. I wouldn't have had. Remember, heart issues is very much connected to stress. Yeah. So imagine your heart is vulnerable. Yeah, your heart is in a bad way. Yeah, and then you're stressing about money. On top of that,
That doesn't help.
that doesn't help.
It's not a good
It's
combination.
not a good combo. It's not a good recipe. Yeah, that is not a recipe you'll find in Chef Ricardo's book. Yeah,
No, you won't find that one in there.
you know what I mean. You don't want to be stressing in that moment in time when your body is tested. Yeah, cool. So if I had income protection at that moment in time, my income would have been. I wouldn't have been worried about my income. I wouldn't have been worried about my bills and stuff like that, because once it's time for my policy to activate, I would be getting paid on a monthly basis. Yeah, the sum that I had chosen with my insurer. So let's say, for example, it was £2,000 that I needed to cover my expenses. Yeah, and all my expenditure. That £2,000 would have been coming in from my insurer per month.
Okay. All
Yeah?
right. Cool.
So I wouldn't have been worried about SSP. Remember I said earlier, the SSP was less than 25% of what I was earning at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah? So let's say if you're earning £2,000 a month and you're getting £400 per month, under £400 I mean, per month,
It's a tough
it's not weighing up.
Yeah,
it's
no,
not
it
weighing
isn't.
up. It's not
and
weighing
that can put more pressure and stress on you.
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
then like your overheads that you had to deal with on a monthly basis. So that's gonna put more stress on you when you're supposed to be recovering.
Yeah, and let's just say it would have been a bit easier if I just broken my leg in a bad way, because I would have got up and
Gone to work with the
still
castle.
got out there. Yeah, I still would have got out there. Yeah, but Justice was on bed rest and can't breathe properly. Yeah, so I'm thinking, you know what? People's messaging me. People who didn't know are messaging me about doing poems. Yeah. Like, oh, there's an event here, and I'm thinking, yeah, what? Paying a few hundred, yeah, cool, like, or whatever it is that I could go and do. I can't go there, yeah.
Because even just to say, let me go to my wardrobe, get an outfit. You're out of breath. You're
out of breath to go to the wardrobe. What are you gonna do? Go on the stage, yeah, and then start the poem and all this kind of stuff, and be
but just getting to the venue, you'd be out of breath.
You'd be out of breath,
yeah,
because I was dizzy when I got in cars,
Wow.
Like when I was in cars, I was dizzy, and I'm talking about when the car just is at 30, I'd be getting dizzy certain times, especially at night time, because the shop lights, it was like, do you know what I mean? So when that was happening as well, like, I was out of breath. So I was dizzy. I mean, so that went out of the question. Yeah, like I wasn't. That made me realize I had no extra streams of income that I had from home, like working from home. Do you know what I mean? There was no working from home streams of income that I had at age 24. Like, put it this way, my mobile phone wasn't making me money at that time. I knew I was paying a phone bill, but the phone wasn't helping to make me any money from home.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
You was helping the phone providers make money.
I was helping the phone provider make some money. Oh, glory. Yeah? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's what was going on. Yeah? Big tune again. Yeah? You know what I mean? I kind of was just like, you know what? This heart thing, yeah? Like, whatever, like this issue that I was having, it was like, yeah, You can hate me now, but I won't stop now. Yeah. Because I can't stop. Do you know what I mean? So.
But you had to rest.
I had to rest. Yeah. Yeah. Like up here, I wasn't stopping. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't stopping in the mind. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. The income protection would have been perfect for me, yeah, because at least I would have had less financial stress on my brain at that moment in time. Yeah, I would have recovered quicker, because what I did try to do was try to hurry up and go back to work sooner, yeah, because they were like, yeah, but you're not ready to go back. I was like, I'm ready. Yeah. Was I ready?
No.
I wasn't ready nothing. Yeah.
No.
Because I was vulnerable. I wasn't strong on my legs. Yeah, and you know how the tube is in the morning, because I used to, because remember, because I was sick, I couldn't cycle to work now, Marie.
But that would have put you in more distress.
Yeah, I couldn't get what bike? I couldn't get on no bike. I couldn't cycle nowhere. You know what I mean?
And then going on the underground. No?
That was mad, because before I could be in crowds and be fine, but being in rush hour underground, yeah,
that's a lot of stress
like,
in itself.
Remember, people's there, like everyone's squeezing. It's hot under there, yeah. Like I'm starting to like. Lose that. Oh my, it was madness. So getting to work was stress. Yeah, so by the time I'm just getting to work, I've now got to start a 9-hour day. Yeah. Even though I came back on light duties, it was still mad. I was walking so slow. Like I took for granted how quick I would walk somewhere on my lunch break, for example. I
think that happens sometimes when we have to got no choice but to slow down. The little things like you take for granted, like how quick you used to walk or how quick you used to do this, or you know, it just kind of has like a reality check on you as well.
It's nuts, man. It's nuts, but yeah, I'll move on. In terms of a critical illness cover, yeah, like if someone has a heart attack, like that is a critical illness, yeah. So basically, with that product, you get paid out upon diagnosis. Yeah, like as soon as your. So I just saw a comment come through. Hold on, before I do that, it says protecting your life and being secure. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. Someone said, "What's the discussion about as well?" We're currently discussing products that can help you and your family in the event of the unexpected, and we're talking about
thinking big.
But what we're talking about when we're saying products, we're talking about insurance products. Yeah, personal protection insurance products. Yeah, cool. So so with a critical illness now, upon diagnosis you get paid out. So if on the scale of like with my heart problems and my heart issues, if it was worse, if it was a bit worse, then that would have been recognized as a critical illness. Yeah. And with that being said, upon diagnosis, I would have been paid out a sum. Yeah. And that sum would have been a sum that I had, discussed with my insurer or my insurance advisor. Yeah. So let's say, for example, if I was earning 30k a year, and they said, Jordan, in the event of you being, critically ill, how long would you like off work?
Can't really answer that though, can you? Because it depends on the nature, isn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly. But you start looking at all the critical illnesses online, in front of you, and you think, oh gosh, like if I got diagnosed with cancer, like how long would I want off? Like you don't even want to go back to work. But it's like different advisors will advise differently, but you would usually look at how much a person is earning to use that as a bit of a benchmark to say, like, if you're earning 30k a year and you want 2 years off work to recover, then you need at least 60k, on the critical illness, and that gets paid that gets paid out upon diagnosis. Upon diagnosis. So it's like blah blah, you've just had a serious heart attack or whatever, and they had a policy of £60,000 for their critical illness cover, that sum would be issued to them at that moment in time. Do you know what I mean? So some people take out more because they think, do you know what? If the worst, news arrived at my doorstep that I had a critical illness, I'd want to, make some amendments to my home. I want to put a wet room in.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
I'd want to
have like easy access. For
easy
themselves.
access. Yeah, you want your house to be accessible.
Or
You want
might
a stair lift.
Yeah, or if you have like an upstairs and downstairs, you might bring your bedroom downstairs and maybe revert your living room upstairs or something.
Yeah, you start making some amendments to make it accessible for you.
Comfortable for yourself.
To make it comfortable while you recover.
That's within your right.
Within your right.
Yeah.
But imagine when it was me though, for example, let's say with my heart issues, if it was a bit worse, it would have been registered as a critical illness. And I didn't have no critical illness cover in place. Do you know what I mean? So that then would have been an L. Like, it would have been a big loss, because I could have had a sum of money. Lesson. Yeah, and a lesson, yeah. I would have had a sum of money that would have made me not have to think about work. I could have said to my employer, actually, I'm not coming back because of this health issue, for example. But then I would have had
something in place. So where you're not worried about your finances or things you might need to cover, or even just, you can
take a holiday. Like, you can go you can go and get some treatment elsewhere, for example. You know what I mean? You can go and get treatment elsewhere and go and take a holiday and recover in the sun, for example. Do you know what I mean? These are the type of things that people who have these policies do, because when they hear, oh, such and such, you've got cancer or whatever, they're like, oh no, all right, cool. Like, you being serious? Like, yeah. Can I have that in writing? Yeah, cool. Insurer? Like, they show, and then they're gone. They're in the sun. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how it goes when some people hear they got cancer. They're in the sun, relaxing. You know what I mean? Like, they're on the road to recovery. Do you know what I mean? So that would be a critical illness cover. Yeah. Now, using myself again as a case study, God forbid, if Josh Jordan died at that moment in time, I had no life insurance, nothing in place, no life insurance. Yeah. So, the savings that I had that helped me survive, while I was on bed rest, that compared to, the price of what the funeral would have costed at that time, it still wasn't like, I don't know. It depends on what kind of funeral you want.
I remember that we mentioned briefly last week that funerals, and we're not talking about the night, we're not talking about the after the burial, the party just to celebrate life and we all come together. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the plot.
Just a plot.
The plot is starting or could be over 10.
Easy.
And that doesn't include a coffin.
No. Any of the extras.
Yeah. Or how many family cars do you want? This is not about flowers.
No.
That's just the plot.
Just the plot. And we're not talking about $10, yeah? We're talking about $10,000, yeah? £10,000, yeah? Just for the plot. Do you know what I mean? That's if you can get a plot near you.
Yeah, and I was just about to say that.
That's if you can get one near you.
It depends in what borough.
Yeah.
Because we're in England.
Yeah.
London, England.
Yeah.
So it depends. You may not be able to get a local place.
Yeah, you may not.
You might have to go out.
Yep.
That could be cheaper to even go out.
Facts.
But maybe on your doorstep, that could just be bumping up even more.
Could be bumping up even more because of the demand, you know what I mean? The location, you know what I mean? So there's things like that.
And then sometimes I think, isn't it more of the plot is if you buy it for two?
Yeah. We mentioned that last week as well. So sometimes you buy a plot for two people. Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't like to think what kind of situation I would have left my family members in if I just died like that. Do you know what I mean? Because if I passed away and my savings would have done something, but you would have to. You
couldn't have the leverage.
Yeah. The thing is, it's like they would want to honor me and give me a lovely send off, but then at the same time, the reality is, like, unless certain family members who had a bit more saving than others got involved,
it wouldn't happen.
It wouldn't have happened like that. People would have been going to get bank loans and stuff like that. So imagine I would have passed, God forbid, and then they would have been paying for my funeral
And still paying for it now.
And still pay, yeah, because they're taking out loans that are like a 5-year loan. You know what I mean? Maybe even a 10. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, do you really, like, they don't deserve, my family members don't deserve to be taking out no bank loan to be putting me in the ground.
But I don't believe any family should have to go through that. Because remember, as well as dealing with the fact that they've lost a family member, that void,
the grief,
different emotion they've got to deal with, if they've left children behind, etc. And on top of that, you have left the bill.
You left the bill. You left the bill. So I started to think, like, how do I want to be remembered? Do you know what I mean? So on that same topic there, once I got into the industry of insurance, which was about 18 months after being ill, I was trying to apply for insurance. And once, you know, the underwriters of the policies, you know, were looking at my medical history, they were like, not right now. You know why they said not right now? Because, Marie, I was still under investigation.
Yeah, because I think the policy would be better to take out before anything is in the process, for argument's sake.
Exactly.
So if you're unwell now, because they're going to feel like, well,
you're high risk.
Yeah, like in the next couple of months, we're going to have to pay out. You haven't even paid enough in for us to pay out.
Precisely. And I'm not saying that no insurer would have ever insured me, no, but they would have insured
on a higher.
No, they would have insured everywhere else on my body, for example, other than the matter at hand. And also anything that would have been influenced by the matter at hand. So let's say, for example, there was a severe leg swelling or something like that. They'll be like, oh, well, you need to check. Like in the post-mortem, they'll be like, well, they need to check, like, does this have anything to do with the heart? Yeah, but it's his leg. That's what the family will be arguing. Yeah, but
everything's kind of connected still.
It's connected. Yeah. And the heart being at the center of what's going on, the heart influences a lot of things. Yeah. So if they're saying we're not insuring his heart or anything influence, like any death or cause of death related to heart issues, we're not insuring, for example, and God forbid I, passed from the heart thing, they wouldn't have paid out. Because they're saying he's still under investigation. You know what I mean? It's different if you die another way. But the way that I need them to insure me, they were not insuring me. And we shopped around. Yeah? They were like, nah, you're still under investigation. So the underwriters looked at me as high risk. And by this time, I'm 24, 25. And they're like, yeah, you can't get it. Do you know what I mean? So what do you think I'm telling people who's 24, 25? Get insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah. While you got a clean slate. Yeah. Get some insurance.
Don't ever think that, oh no, I'm young, man. I've got
all the time in the world.
Especially
and all that kind
do
of
it
stuff.
Now.
Yep.
Because you never know.
You never know.
You don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, later, an hour from now.
Some is better than none.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if it's not a lot of cover. Yeah. Some cover is better than none. Even if you've got a cover for £10,000, paying a sum of £10,000. Yeah. Like
better than nothing.
I'm telling you, because that might only cost you a few pounds a month, for example. Yeah. But £10,000 will come in handy if the unexpected happened. Like though it may not be enough, you'll be surprised. It will come in handy. Do you know what I mean? And also, there's people, you need to have a will as well. You need to put a will in place. So wills and trusts, please, listeners, look up wills and trusts. Do you know what I mean? Do some thorough research on it. You know what I mean? In the UK, that is, or whatever country you're listening from.
But I feel like wherever you are, like globally as well, these things are still relevant to whatever country you could be in as
Precisely.
well. Your guidance might be slightly different to ours over here in the
UK,
but it's still relevant to where you are.
Of course. I think what's happened, Marie, is a lot of people have concentrated so much on the NHS yeah, and they've been like, oh yeah, well, you know, I'm okay. In other countries where there's no NHS,
they got to go private.
You got to go private, so you better have some insurance. Do you know what I mean? So your kids can't just be breaking their arm and all that kind of stuff, because that's costing.
Oh, we're taking Johnny.
Oh yeah, Johnny
down to A&E.
Johnny can't just be going down to A&E. And I learned so much about the hospital when I was in the hospital, because I had to go so often. I was in the hospital so often. I used to see people come to the hospital, yeah, and then just like when I'm going through the A&E part or whatever, they'll just lay on the floor. I'm not moving, and you're like, what? This is where my tax money's going, yeah. To you, man, who's saying you ain't moving, yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it like we don't, you know, contribute for people who, you know, do need the care, like I did, for example. But even then, it taught me as well, the NHS have got so much on their hands, so much to deal with. Like, I got dealt with slow, because it's even like in a list of priority. You know what I mean? Even now, cancer, there's so many people who are getting diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah, there's loads. I've noticed that over the past couple of years, it's growing. It's growing.
The number is so high right now. It's like they don't even have time to treat you properly. Like, if you're high priority, they will try and do what they can. But if your priority isn't that high, like, you need to know what you're doing. And it then makes you think, if you hear that you got cancer, God forbid, or any other critical illness, do you want to be relying on a health service that are telling you, like, you're not that important right now? Like, you really need to be doing some research on how to solve, you know, the problem that you're in, and seeing what's out there. You know what I mean? Because there are other options, but those other options aren't cheap. But imagine if you've got a critical illness cover in place,
then that can actually help.
You've got now paid a lump sum of money upon diagnosis, then you can use some of that money to then be like, you know what, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to get treatment here. I'm going to get treatment there. You know? So these are the kind of things that, like I was mentioning last week, the middle class have in place. So many people have in place, because the education is there, and
it's been taught to them from a very young age. And I just feel that us in our community, you know, we need to start informing like the next generation from an early age about these things, because some of us, we've learned this a bit more in our mature ages, which is not a bad thing, because at least you still can put things into place. But imagine if you had started from a younger age, how your cover, you if anything was to happen, you can actually relax and recover without worrying.
Yeah, without worrying.
The only thing you might have is a bit of frustration, the fact that you can't maneuver like you used to.
Yeah.
But financially, you would have been at peace.
And even if, someone is ill and they can't get insurance at the moment, look into a funeral plan. We mentioned it last week, but look into the funeral plan and just start paying for the funeral plan. Because at the end of the day, if you are too ill for the insurers to, like, insure you at this moment in time, because not to say that that will be the case forever, but at this moment in time, if you're too ill to
for them to take you on,
then look into a funeral plan, and then at least, you know, God forbid, if the unexpected happened, you're not burdening your loved ones with the bill of burying you, for example, because it's our responsibility. Like, you got your responsibility to live where you live, and, you know what I mean, take care of yourself whilst you're alive. But then if the worst happens, like, the
it's
bill,
still kind of your responsibility that
it
you
is.
put
It's
those
not even kind
in.
of, Marie. It is their
Nice.
I know.
Be nice today.
But you know what it is? No, I don't mean to say abruptly like that.
Yeah.
Because
but it is our responsibility to put these things into place.
To put something in place. Yeah. And then a lot of people, like a lot of Caribbeans, be like, "Oh, when I dead, just put me in one little hole." Well, even that costs money.
One hole.
Yeah.
But also, so like some like Caribbean people, they said, "Well, if anything, if I kick the bucket," wow, you know, words of expression.
Yeah.
I want to be buried in Jamaica. Okay. Do you have that money?
How are you getting there, Glory?
Yeah.
Glory.
Because I realised your ticket to go back to Jamaica.
Yeah,
it's more expensive than me
than a
being
normal,
alive going on the sea.
It's not a normal plane ticket.
No.
You know? It's not a normal plane ticket to just say you're going back there. And even when you go back there, who's transporting you? You know what I mean? Who's carrying you? Who's preserving you?
Did you arrange on the other side which funeral home you're going to be in to chill out until your family decide to go and dig up and put you in? So if that's what you want, I will honor your wishes. Yeah. However, you better start out the money for it. No offense.
So, can you see, Marie, why my cousin and I were getting frustrated when we was talking to people in our community, who we've got love for, but they're telling you that they're getting a new car, like, that is out of their financial
jurisdiction
remit. Yeah, it's like okay, but why are you getting that car and then you're avoiding putting something in place, even something small? I'm talking about as little as £10 a month, £15 a month, £20 per month. Yeah,
I think that's what our listeners globally need to understand as well. It's not like you'll be breaking your pocket. You could be paying something that's like reasonable, whether it's 10, 15. It's up to you to a certain degree of how much you would like to pay each month.
Yeah.
But if you think about if you wasn't paying that, what you would normally do with that, it'd be better for you to benefit on that instead.
Exactly. But a lot of people don't want to make the sacrifice because they think, oh, well, I'm just chucking money into that. Whereas, like, let's say, for example, Netflix or another, you know, thing that they want to pay for, another subscription or whatever, or their new iPhone or whatever it is, they use their new iPhone. I'm not saying you shouldn't use your iPhone. I'm not saying you shouldn't have Netflix. But look into, you know, what you can do as a solution to kind of assist, you know, yourself in that kind of situation rather than just leaving it to, you know, anyone, you know.
This is what we're saying. It's about thinking big.
Thinking big,
you know, it's like, you know, we have to take ownership for our well-being, our lives, and even going forward, isn't it? It's not really fair to leave that burden on like our kids or others. It's not really fair, isn't it?
And you know what, Marie, quickly, sorry to cut you, I just thought of in a particular example. There was a young lady who I know. She had an insurance policy and then she cancelled it, and then a few months later she got diagnosed with cancer. And then that was a massive shock to her because one of her closest cousins was going through treatment for cancer, and her mum was going through cancer at the time as well. So she wasn't expecting to hear she had cancer. So she's called the insurance up and tried to reinstate her policy. And then when they done their checks and they looked through her medical records, or like, you're being treated for cancer, hell no. And that was tough because she had it in place. Do you know what I mean? She had it in place. She had the critical illness cover and the life cover in place, and she's a mother. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, she was going through her treatment, and then eventually her mum passed away, and she was her mum's carer. She was looking after her mum, and then the mum didn't have anything in place. So when her mum passed away, the cost of the funeral was on her, basically, you know, and she had to use her and her son's savings to
go and bury her mum.
So the grief was real because she just lost her mum. The grief of the bereavement of her mum was just crazy. You know what I mean? Because her and her mum were close. But then after a while,
you got to manage all of those different emotions, isn't it? Because
like,
you go through different things.
Then it's like, Mum, like, what are you dying for? Like, you're gonna die now, and then like, what? Me and my son, like, do you know what I mean? They now. It's not easy because you're grieving your loved one and then you're peed off with them at the same time because you're thinking, why you have to go and die like at this moment in time and there's nothing in place, and I've had to use off all my savings now. So now I'm at ground zero.
Go start again.
You're not like, so now, you know what I mean? So it's annoying, but because no one thinks anything's going to happen, like, do you know what I mean?
I don't think it's that you don't think something's going to happen. It's like the thought of that could be quite daunting and scary.
Precisely.
So it's like, you're like, oh, like, you know, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes, isn't it?
And we pray, yeah, that all of our listeners are safe and sound and healthy.
Definitely.
But whilst you're healthy, you're at an advantage. That's what we're saying. You're at an advantage.
Put things in place now.
Yeah.
You know, where you are healthy, where to these companies you're not a liability now.
Precisely. Yeah. And the truth is, yeah, all as Marie's mentioned about thinking big throughout this show as well, the insurance products are only one way to, you know, leave wealth in your family. Do you know what I mean? When people have assets and stuff like that, that's how they pass houses down. Do you know what I mean? A lot of things get passed down. Businesses get passed down. Land gets passed down. Family land. Like, there's so many assets that people have that's in the family
leave to, you know, children, other family members, etc., etc.
The insurance is just a bonus.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The insurance is just a bonus. You know? So there's certain responsibilities that we want to prompt people to look into, because as we are concentrating on our community, our Caribbean community, do you know what? I'm going to be very honest and say this as well, yeah? When I was working in insurance, I had more trouble with helping our Caribbean community than I did with our African community, because the Africans, like the West Africans, they weren't on having shame on their name.
I've noticed that.
They were not on it. They were like, okay, I need to put this in place, I need to protect my family. How much is it? Okay, we pay. And they, you know, we sat down with them and tailored something particularly to their needs. So what you need, when you sit down with a client and you show the client how much cover they actually need, they're like, because a lot of the time people don't think about all of the, you know, within the recommendations, because as an advisor will ask you questions, you know. Oh, are you a homeowner? Yes. Oh, do you have a car? Yes. Is it, you know, paid off? Is it on finance? Oh yeah, I've got $3,000 left on it. Okay, let's factor the $3,000 in. Like, you know, like you start adding up all of these things, to ensure that everything is covered. So in the event that you pass away, your house is paid off, your car's paid off, like all these things are all paid off, so that you actually own everything now. You know what I mean? Everything is owned. So then at least all of those stuff, rather than houses getting repossessed, cars getting repossessed, like rather than being lost, and then on top of that, the loss of you. Do you know what I mean? To your family. So we start looking at these things. The Africans, they were not on that happening. The majority of them anyway. Don't get me wrong. You'll have some that will say like other things, like, oh, Jesus is my insurance, or you'll have people say other things like that. And do you know what I mean? We know what they mean in that regard, in terms of where their soul area is concerned. But you still
have to use practical wisdom.
Precisely, because even if our soul's in the right place, and that's what we want our soul to be in the right place. That's the most important place. You want to make sure that your soul's insurance is in the right place. But in terms of on the practical, you know, it's like when you're saying Jesus is my insurance and stuff like that, that is a comforting perspective a lot of people will have. But then on the practical, who is paying for what you've left behind? Do you know what I mean? And we saw, as I said, people in insurance, we saw like their policy kick in at the right time when they needed it. So they were able to access their income protection, and then, you know, not stress, and then have enough to go back to work. We saw people who had insurance, cancelled their insurance, and then got sick. We saw people who had insurance in like the middle class, you know, class of people, and it was just like a bonus. Like, we're talking bonus on bonus, like bonus, like people's passed away, then there's like 1 million. Like people's got 500,000. Yeah, 250,000 paid out, you know, when someone's passed away. Do you know what I mean? So, like, we saw the differences, but our Caribbean community, we really saw a lot of resistance with them. Do you know what I mean? And because I feel like a lot of it's unknown to them. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people said things like, "Oh, if I go and take out insurance, it's going to be bad luck," and all this kind of stuff. Like, these are the kind of stuff we heard our Caribbean community, you know, saying to us, and we're like,
but sometimes I think, you know, just as individuals, you see, when you have lack of knowledge on something, then you're assuming.
Yeah.
But sometimes we just need to take the opportunity to really look into things for ourselves, isn't it?
Precisely.
Because remember, everything that we look into, it has to be tailored to our needs,
Precisely.
our personal needs,
Precisely.
our family's needs.
Precisely.
You can't go by sister so-and-so's or brother so-and-so's situation. You've got to tailor it to your need.
yeah, precisely.
And life is real.
Life is real.
Life is so real.
Life is life in right now. Life
Yeah.
is life in right now, you know. So it's deep. And you'd think, like, okay, you've got car insurance though. You don't think, oh, I'm going to have a car crash because I've got car insurance, or I'm going to smash my new iPhone screen because I've got, you know, phone insurance. You don't think that. Do you know what I mean? But you insure your phone. You insure your car.
Just in case.
Exactly. Do you know
Just
what I mean?
in case you might lose it or you break it, whatever. But just in case.
Yeah. But
And then when that time does happen, because sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy I've got insurance for the phone. Yeah.
yeah, it's deep. So you see the perspective. So we're just encouraging you to look into it. But, you know, as we're approaching the end of our show, we want to really just give that last time to really just give some power, you know what I mean, and some encouragement and stuff your way, because we want everyone to think big, you know. And there's a particular saving scheme that I've heard a few people talk about.
Yeah.
Don't quote Marie and I on us.
No,
sorry, on this, you know.
Yes,
but
please.
you'd have to research it for yourself.
Yes.
But
everything we have given to you via today's show, previous show, please, with a capital please, go and do your own research, so that it's tailored to your need. We're just here to inform you, but it's for you to go and do your own homework to see if it's appropriate for you.
That's right.
How it works for you.
How it works for you and your family and your loved ones. And also just think about what would happen if you don't put it in place. Do you know what I mean? What would happen? Because you know that they would struggle. Like, if they're not in that place where they've got loads of spare cash. Like, unless you've got like a family member that's got like a spare 30 grand there to help, you know, bury you and stuff like that, then you might want to look into it. If you've got children, and then you just gone, and perhaps you're a single parent, for example, you know what I mean? Then what? What's going to happen with your children? Do you know what I mean? At least if you've got like something in place, then you know you can leave a little something. You can leave something to give your children a little springboard. Do you know what I mean?
And even if you're not a single parent.
Still,
because, for example, if something happens to one of the parents, you don't want to leave the other parent feeling the burden, and the kids feel the burden.
Exactly.
So it's something that we all can have a look at.
Exactly.
Well.
So it would appear that you're still there financially.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because some of the life insurances, I can't remember if I mentioned it last week, but there's like a family income benefit. There's like, that would be like a life insurance sum. So if someone passes away, the sum is paid out on a monthly basis rather than just letting off a 300 grand. Do you know what I mean? There's so many things to look at. I mean, if you've got a house, you know, inheritance tax, like there's so many things. Listen to what I just said, inheritance tax. Like, this is why when I was talking about wills and trusts earlier, please look into this stuff. A lot of the time, Maria, people, they're tuning into like all kind of like garbage, like, and stuff like that. And it's like, don't get me wrong, we all do. But there's certain times, But you have to balance it out. Have to.
You know, there's times you might want to filter in those stuff.
Exactly.
But it's time you also have got to edify your mind for events that could happen in the future.
Exactly.
You always have to be like, everyday things are changing.
Yeah. So that savings, the savings scheme that we were talking about, like as we said, we're not telling you to go and do it. We're telling you to go and research.
Yes.
But I'm just going to use it as an example. Some people may have seen Lockbox. Where you can put a sum of money into.
You can set the sum of
amount.
money you want to put in every month.
Yeah, precisely.
Yes.
So I don't know, Marie, you want to explain it to them?
Well, it's what you do is once you go onto their website, then you can choose the amount that you would like to put in every month, and it's like a direct debit that comes out of your account every month on the same date. So for example, if you started up today and you started with £50 on the 15th of July, then every 15th of the month it will come out. And if I can remember correctly, but please don't quote me on this, you can actually choose your period of how long you want it to run for, but don't quote me on that, just double check that. But you can choose whether it's 20, 25, 60, 100, how much you would like for it to be put in every month. Precisely.
And they hold it onto you. They hold onto it for you securely. And like Marie said, once that duration is up, let's say it's a year, once that duration is up, then you can decide whether you want to keep it in Lockbox or you can withdraw it. Like, you know what I mean? But do your own research.
Once you do your research, and when it's time for you to receive your amount that you've been putting in, they transfer it back into the account that you were paying from every month for the direct debit. But it's a way. It's like, but with the Lockbox, it helps to build your credit.
Yes.
That's the good thing about it. It helps to build your credit. And as long as that every month, for example, as we said, the 15th of each month, you put, that money comes out on time, that it helps to build your credit. But if you miss payments, that can also affect your credit as well.
Exactly.
So if you're out here struggling to build your credit, that is an option to help you.
To help build your
Even
credit,
if you start with £5-10, it's up to you.
Showing that you're committed. Showing that you're trustworthy. You're trustworthy. That you can agree, you can pay something that you've agreed to pay. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of people say that within 6 months or so, like at least 125 points or so will be increased on your credit score just from committing to using the lockbox, for example. So if you're in there for a year, for example, then you know what I mean, a lot of points should go up. And I know a lovely young lady, she's a single mother, and she started the lockbox because she was just like, you know what, I need to put some measures in place for her and her child, and lo and behold, she put away 10 grand.
You'd be surprised. Because you're putting the money in every month. It's like you're paying a debit. Like, for example, you're paying for a Sky or your phone. So you're not even always recording like, oh yeah, I'm putting £100 in this month. Your mind just, until when you might get a notification or an email from them saying, oh, it's that time for you to unlock your box. So and then by like, oh my gosh, is that how much I was saving? You
do it without realizing. But we want to encourage everyone, our wonderful listeners, to be intentional. Please be intentional, because we've spoken about the sacrifices that you could make with your subscriptions, for example, if your expenditure is really stretched, but then you want to start putting some things in place. There might be things like partying a little less, you know what I mean?
You gotta make certain sacrifices.
Something has got to give.
Yeah.
For example, because a person might be like, well, I don't have £100 a month to put in, for example, but then you think of how much money we spend on takeaways. You think of how much money we buy on certain things that you just spending like you're just spending so much money before you know it, you can put £100 away. Do you know what I mean? For example, and then end of the year you just got over £1,000. For example, do you know what I mean? You can do certain things.
Do you know what? It's a mind thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have to be, like, determined that,
precisely.
you know what, for the next 6 months, for argument's sake,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out maybe once for the month.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna eat out so much. I might just treat myself once because I'm on a mission to get this started or pay this off or pay into this, invest into this.
Precisely. And you have to think, like, with the discipline, no one else is going to do it for you. That's the thing. No one else is going to do it for you. You can have accountability partners. Like, let's say, for example, if I said, Marie, I'm going to start a lockbox tomorrow. Yeah. Marie will be like, hi, Jordan, how are you? I'll be like, yeah, I'm fine, Marie. Have you opened a lockbox? Like,
have you started yet?
Have you started yet? Do you know what I mean? If I'm like, oh, no, like...
Why haven't you started, Jordan? What are you waiting for?
Exactly. Marie will be on my case. So, you have to... put yourself in an environment where you're around people who actually care about your well-being for the future. And what I don't want us to do is dwell on our past too much, because there are times where we need to reflect.
There is time, because you're humans. You are human.
Yeah.
And sometimes you think about where you're coming from. But, sometimes you have to look at it is that your past is building you to go forward, because there's things you're learning that's equipping you for what lies ahead.
Precisely.
But it depends on how you are thinking about it and how you're viewing it. Sorry, Jordan, before we continue, we've got a few messages regarding on our chat. So we've got it from Destiny, where she's written and said, thank you for interacting with us, Destiny. I think some of the youth need to take out insurance instead of spending on designer clothes.
Oh, glory.
Oh, well.
Oh, glory.
Then she put, live for your future, not just for today. And I do agree with you.
Yes, Destiny.
Yes, thank you, Destiny, for interacting with us. Thank you.
What I mean? We've got a few hand emojis, people waving to us and stuff like that.
Thank you all for interacting with us.
Yeah, thank you. Like, we appreciate you lot, because sometimes we're in the flow, we're just not catching everyone, you know what I mean? But Destiny, big up yourself for that. But it's so true. Think about the money that people are spending on designer clothes and stuff like that. It is insane. Do you know what I mean? I mean, okay, this is gonna sound extreme. And I don't want to make it sound like I'm condoning this as, you know what I mean, some money making scheme, whatever. But do you know, in certain places there were people who were trying to insure other people's kids?
Sorry?
Yeah. People were trying to insure other people's kids. Yeah, like I've heard about this case in America. Yeah. But they weren't trying to insure the kids so that the sum goes to the family, you know. They were trying to insure the children, pay the premiums for them, because they're likely to get shot. Oh, glory. So they're saying, you know what? If this young person doesn't survive much longer, that insurance policy is coming in our direction. Yeah? So, Go on.
Hold on. You know, Jordan always have got to do this.
Yeah.
So when that money comes through, so they would be helping with the funeral arrangements.
Oh, Clary, they're not helping with no funeral arrangements.
Oh, so they were actually profiting off this child. Oh, wow.
And we're talking non-black people. Yeah, non-black people were trying to insure black youth. Yeah, because they're saying these lot in this neighborhood are likely to. You know what I mean? So they were trying to entice them basically to, get rights to their life insurance policies and stuff that. Because they were saying that, when this child gets shot and whatever happens to them, then, we're going to be up. And but I'm saying there's stuff that they've bribed people to do, because you can't bribe, you see, like with the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK, it can be no bribes. It can be no bribes. So like, I'm not signing away to, I don't know, like a certain person, Joe Blogs, down the road. You can take my life insurance. You're my beneficiary, Joe Blogs. Yeah, so you can get.
But then again, I suppose in America, sometimes the way how it's being sold to the individual, because we'll make sure your mom, your mom's,
all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah, they would listen. Some madness going on, and you think to yourself, like, even in our community over here, you think how many people.
Just like, sorry to cut you, Jordan. It's just like what Destiny's saying is like. her first one was, yes, they are making designers rich just to look good and no savings. And just as we were speaking about what you were saying about in America, them insuring the youth. And then she goes, plus the youths are dying before us. And the parents are left to bury them. And that is so true. That is so true. There's so many that we hear that you're like, oh my gosh, and like your mom, your grandma, everybody's left behind.
Facts. It's crazy. So, you know, there's all sorts of crazy stuff going on, and you know, there's loopholes and laundering and all kinds of stuff that has been going on. That's why we're saying do your own research and research the Financial Conduct Authority. Find all of them who protect your money. All of the financial establishments in the UK, if you're in the UK, whatever country you're in, look to see how your policy, all your money is all protected. Because some people go, oh, what if the insurance company goes bust? Research what happens. Research how that all happens.
Or even if you go onto YouTube, because, you know, when I used to work in the colleges, I understand that some of us are visual learners. Sometimes we need to see it and hear it, then actually to scan, really read through it. There's loads of videos via YouTube or even like Instagram or TikTok that you can be informed about all these different policies, the pros, the cons. Just take some time to just have a look and you know, just educate yourself. It's all for your own use.
You could pick up the phone as well. Like you can call like an insurer, for example.
Just
and
get advice.
Get advice. Read that before you even get on there. You just read their website. Like when you read their insurance websites and you read what the products are, research why the product was designed. And you research what it was there to do, for example. You know what I mean? You already do a lot of your due diligence or your research already just by going on the websites and reading, for example. Do you know what I mean? But there was something I was gonna say quickly about the legacy we're leaving on Earth. So we want to be leaving the right legacy on Earth.
What
you got to
legacy
think,
are we leaving?
What legacy are we
as
leaving?
individuals?
How do you want to be remembered? Like, do you know what I mean? And none of us want to be remembered as the person who left debt behind for their family, you know, or anything like that. None of us want to be remembered like that. Like, on a positive note, on a serious note, how do we want to be remembered? Do you know what I mean? Like, we're thinking about today, we're thinking about the future. How do we want to be remembered? Do you know what I mean?
Did you accomplish, fulfill your purpose? Because every one of us are here for a reason. There's something that you have to fulfill on this earth. Did you find your purpose? Did you walk it out? Did you make a difference? Because we're all here to do something.
That's right.
Did you leave your handprint, as we have mentioned in previous shows before? Did you leave your handprint?
This is it. Like, there's so many practical things that we need to start like looking at right now, as well as like, how do we structure our year? You know, go and tell them about the 3 months.
I was explaining this to Jordan today, is that what I would normally say to my boys, because they're of beautiful young age, I would say to them, you've got 12 months in the year. So I would say I break the months down into 3. So for the first 3 months, I will make goals of what I plan to achieve for those 3 months. And when I get to the end of the 3rd month, normally I have probably like 1 or 2 things that I haven't, or was still in the process of completing but wasn't finished. So for the next 3 months, I've put out the top. So by the end of those, the other set of 3 months, it's been completed. So that by the time I get to December, I've achieved more than just one thing. I've left the trail of stuff that I've achieved. Whether it is, to me, like to others who may, oh, that's small. To me, it's big. Because it's my achievement. It's how I've done things. Even like for example, I might do a course for like 6 months. That's my achievement. Because it's going towards what I'm working towards. I'm
That's
taking
right.
my steps.
That's
So I
right.
haven't allowed the year to just be in vain.
Yeah, that's it.
I've made steps, no matter how
That's it.
small it is.
That's it.
Even if I got delayed, I've made those steps.
That's it. It's important. It's important.
Like,
It's
we're
important.
in July.
Yep. Hope, Larry. We're in the second half. Officially, we're in the second half now.
Listen, I said to Jordan today, you might as well just say tomorrow's Christmas.
Yeah.
What
Time
are you
ticking.
going to do for the remaining of the year? You still got times, even if you haven't really thought of what you've done so far, you have still got time.
Facts. A lot can be done in a month, let alone three. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot can be done in a month.
Could you imagine how much you can do within a year? You would surprise yourself.
You surprise yourself. If you look at it like every 3 months, I've got to achieve X, Y, Z. Realistic. It was about realistic goals, wasn't it,
That's
Marie?
it.
We got there.
The titles come back. We forgot what the title of the show was called today.
Realistic
Goals.
goals. Yeah. I can't believe that way. Oh my gosh.
I told you it was going to come back.
To the end of the show.
Yeah, I told you it was going to come back, Jordan.
Marie and I had the title
mapped out
organised,
today.
mapped out everything.
But
and
in the midst of
we
us
didn't put it in
mapping
our
out,
phones or nothing.
because we was
man.
multitasking as we came up with our
Oh my gosh.
realistic goals.
So yes, episode 13
Yeah.
of Evening Talks with Just Jordan and Marie is called Realistic Goals. Yeah, because it is a realistic goal to just do a bit of research. Do you know what I mean? It's a realistic goal to, do whatever you want.
But
just
it's for
set
you.
them. You
It's
set them.
individual.
You set them.
You know,
You set
it's
them.
for your growth. It's for your development.
Yeah.
Like, for example, that you may have a business, for example. So you may decide that, okay, for the remaining of the year, I'm going to try and see if, where it's summertime, I go to different events to see what new products or
Come on.
new...
Come
new
on.
info
To
is out there,
upskill, yeah.
because you're continuing with your personal development.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
anything
Larry.
you're learning
Marie's
is
on a roll.
enhancing.
Come on, let's go.
Anything you're learning is enhancing
Mm-hmm.
your business. You know, with any business that you have, no matter how you say, okay, cool, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
There's always something that you need to grow. Your business never to become stagnant. Even in your own personal life,
Yeah.
you may say, today I'm gonna walk 2 steps. In the next few weeks, you might decide you're going to walk 10. It's called growth. You do not stay stagnant.
That's right.
So I'm just hoping that you be encouraged to put things into place. It could be that, do you know what, tomorrow I'm going to make a couple of calls about the insurance. You're putting something in place.
It's a working day tomorrow.
Yeah. You're putting something in place. Or I'm going to go online. Instead of probably watching something on Netflix, I'm going to do some research to see
Facts.
what different companies are out there.
Facts.
Get some information that can help me. What's tailored to my need, my family's need.
Facts.
You're making a step already.
You're making a step.
You might say, okay, let me get the information now. When I get paid next week, I can put the policies in place. You're
That's
making
right.
steps.
You're making the steps. Wherever it is, it doesn't have to be lockbox. It can be something else. We just suggested that we look into it.
Because that one helps to build your credit.
It helps you build
because
your credit,
most people, would like to build their credit because in the future you might want to purchase a house. So that
for the
will help.
assets, so you can think big.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you can think big. If you've got good credit, you know what I mean, you're trustworthy on paper, to lenders and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it helps you think big. So, we want people to look into getting some mentors, even if your mentors are online. Yeah. Think big. Yeah. Like, look at some people and replicate. Positive mentors and replicate, some of the things that their blueprint, some of the things that they've done. A person will be like, oh, you shouldn't copy people. No, if you copy one person, for the rest of your days, then you're a copycat. Yeah. But when you think about it, when you was a toddler, your primary carers, they taught you things and you copied them, because they taught you, but you didn't just have one.
But then you made it your own.
That's where
you made it your own.
Come on, that's where we're going with it, Marie.
It's like your parents can teach you how to cook, but when you're in your own environment, you would do it similar, but then you might add your twist into it.
Yep. So Chef Ricardo's got the recipes there. But you might follow his one and then be like, you know what, I think I'll do this.
And a bit more ginger, a bit more lime.
Come on. Because you know what you want to do with it. You know what I mean? And for anyone out there who is well aware of, you know, the things that we've discussed this evening, big up yourself. But what we want to also encourage you to do is have some mentees, because you need to pass that baton on. You need to pass it on so that people know, you know, young people know, you know, people, whoever it is, older people, but you're passing the information on. You know, if you're already
But that's
thinking,
what it's about, though. When we learn something, it's like the baton in a relay race. You pass it on. Once you have gained that knowledge and the insight to it, you pass it on. You don't keep it to yourself. We're here to edify, encourage everyone so they can be better. Like, you know, as children would say, sharing is caring. Yes, we're sharing because we care.
Facts. But yeah, man, we've had a blast. And we just want everyone to think big and set some realistic goals. And just before we round up here, we have got an amazing event that we want to announce, you know. So yeah, Mari.
Yep. Over to me. Okay. So Just Cool Radio presents Through the Jungle.
Let's do a little record scratch here for it. Let's just spin the wheel. We're gonna spin the wheel. Spin it. All right. Go on, Lick. Yes, Marie. Go for it now.
Just Cool Radio presents Through the Jungle. A night to never be missed. This is a new event.
Yes.
That will be taking place starting the 1st of August.
Yes.
So that's in the next couple of weeks.
Next few weeks.
Yeah, and it's every Tuesday. Tuesday. And we would have down there as well. We have open mic, spoken words, banter, networking, live music, DJing. My favorite part, food.
Yeah.
So this is what Just Cool Radio is presenting every Thursday, starting from. Every Tuesday. every Tuesday
from the 1st of
August.
And where is it going to be held, Marie?
It will be held in Jungle Bar and Grill, which is 133 Stockwell Road, SW9, and that is 9TN. So it's the Jungle Bar and Grill, 133 Stockwell Road, SW9 9TN.
Yes.
And that will be from 8 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. starting on the 1st of August. And it'll be on every Tuesday.
Yep.
Every Tuesday onward. And then you will have open mic, spoken word, banter, networking. And just like Jordan was saying today, having mentors. So you could come to this event. You can find someone that you interact with, you network with, that becomes a mentor to you.
Facts.
And on top of that as well, you get to meet some of the lovely DJs and presenters on Just Cool Radio.
That's right.
So it'd be good to come and network with us because we are still human. You know? We don't bite. But please put it in your diaries from now.
Put it in your calendar.
And you know, the fact of the matter is, you can't say, but it's a school night. No, it's summer holidays.
Oh, glory.
Summer holidays.
Yep.
So go and find that babysitter. You look, guys, you all work hard. I work hard as well. Every Tuesday, let's be young again. Let's kind of splash out during the week again. Because most of the time as parents, we only wait until the weekend. It is Tuesday. And as I said, it's between 8 until 11:30. Spoken word, open mic, banter, networking. You could be thinking of starting a business. You might meet somebody there. You might want to be a presenter, a DJ on Just Cool Radio. Come down. Come and interact with us.
You can find the missing pieces to your puzzle when you're in these kind of environments. You know what I mean? So
food for thought as well.
A lot of the creatives and stuff like that, especially the new talent, you know, especially the people who are just starting out, you know, you can be there, and then you find someone who does filming. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, there's so many things that you can do. So tickets are £10. If you go on Eventbrite, you'll find the events. You want to type that in. I believe shubs.com as well. They're on there as well. So by all means, you know, get your tickets and don't wait till it's too late. Do you know what I mean? Don't wait till it's too late. Get your tickets now, you know, get in there early.
It's like having dates for the diary, isn't it?
Yeah, having dates for the diary, you know, thinking ahead. You know, August is very, like, full. You know what I mean? It's a very full month. You know what I mean?
So you could be sending the kids to play scheme during the day, or whatever you could be doing with them during the day. And in evening time, you're like, no, I need me time.
Oh, Larry.
Calm down.
That's right. Unwind. Yeah. And you can be inspired because, you know, like when you see like some new talent or maybe people who've been performing for a while, you know, that come down and grace the stage and stuff, like it just is so encouraging to be a part of that, you know what I mean? And just being a part of a live audience, you know what I mean? And the live interaction and stuff like that, like it's priceless, you know, it's really, really good. So yes, that is Through the Jungle. That is going to be held at Jungle Bar. Do you know what I mean? In the heart of our community here. Do you know what I mean? So you type in Jungle Bar.
SW9
90N
133 Stockwell Road.
Oh, glory. You know what I mean? So yeah, you come down and make sure you buy a drink as well. Buy a juice. When you get to the bar, buy a juice. You know what I mean?
And a food too.
Yeah.
Need a food, you know?
You know what I mean? To line it.
Have
you know
Tuesday kitchen close.
Yeah.
You can resume again on Wednesday.
It's gonna be amazing.
You're gonna treat yourself that day.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. And tell your friends. A lot of times people just like come alone. Do you know what I mean? But you need to tell your friends.
Tell your neighbour.
People then. Yeah, come down with them.
Tell your
Do you
neighbour.
know what I mean?
Tell your big sons, your big daughters.
Yeah.
If they're not babysitting.
Yeah. And it's 18 plus. Yeah. So.
Tell some of the parents from now at the school.
At the school.
You know, like the kids are on holiday. Let's go out.
Yeah.
Let's let our hair down. We've done so much in the PTA meetings. Let's meet up.
Yeah.
Let's network.
That's right. Because you always meet good people like at those events. You always meet good. You can meet lifelong friends.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Definitely.
You can meet lifelong friends. You know what I mean? And be inspired because there might be someone who might be a bit inactive with their creativity, and then you know they go there and then they see
that
some
kind of
people.
Gives them a kickstart again.
Gives them that boost. You know what I mean? And as there is an open mic segment as well, then you know they might be like, you know what, I'd like to register. You know, in the near future. Do you know what I mean? So. Yeah, it definitely is going to be a lovely community of people that are coming down, and there's going to be people that are coming from, you know, far and near. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be special. It's going to be special, and it's easy to access and stuff. You can't get lost. You can't miss it. It's not down the alleyway in some, you know, bush. You know what I mean? It's not in the jungle. Do you know what I mean?
There will be bus stops nearby so you can get home safely as well.
I'm telling you, the underground, and you know, as it's in the evening, there'll be parking nearby as well if you're getting there by a car.
But I just think it'd be good, you know, during the break to start having, you know, we need to get some new things in our diaries to start doing.
Definitely.
You know, like we,
fun
you know,
things to look forward to.
Yeah, we go to work, we look after the children, and you may go with the family and the friends, but sometimes, you know, you just might need that extra little something different.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you'd be like, I just need something. This could be it.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah. Through the jungle. Through the jungle. So yeah, it's an amazing concept, and what I really like, we mentioned it's 18 plus already. What I like as well is that with the concept, it's like people who, you know, are going through things like, if, you know, life can be like a jungle. Do you know what I mean? So you're going through things, you know, you might get that kind of content. People will be talking about what they're going through out there. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's, you know,
that can help you.
Yeah. You be inspired. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's gonna be amazing. So that's the 1st of August.
You might just want to come and shake a leg because, as it says, live music. You know
what I mean? DJs on rotation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So no matter what kind of music you be into, that could be your night, and you'd be like, yeah. Put it in your diary. I'm a mother as well. I don't put it in my diary.
That's right. But yeah, I'm happy. We're ending on a positive note.
As always.
We're ending on a high. You know what I mean? So we all got a solution for you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah.
And some dates for your diary
dates
as well.
For your diary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah. I've had a good one, Maria. I've had a good one.
Definitely.
One today. So
we'd just like to say thank you, beautiful listeners, for tuning in to Evening Talks with myself, Marie, and Just Jordan.
That's right.
Have a beautiful rest of the week and have a blessed weekend. Stay positive. I hope today has been very informative. But stay focused, stay positive, and have a blessed week. Take care. God bless. Bye.
Yeah, the mic's on. Marie, are you ready?
Hey, Jordan. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I don't know if they're ready, though.
Well, let's see.